everybody, thank you so much for joining me today. I wanted to show you guys how to do your makeup with a few extra steps that will really help keep it in place for the summer and if you live in a hot, humid, icky climate. I actually taught my sister a lot of these steps right now because she was here visiting from Singapore. That's where she lives. So hearing some of her concerns really made sense to me. I don't live in climate like that that's like that all year round, but we came up with some stuff that really works. I wanted to share with you guys what I learned and what I really think does work, because I have very oily skin, so imagine somebody with oily skin plus climate like that. It's a recipe for disaster. So I wanted to show you guys a few things I think could really help. I hope you guys enjoy. If you want to see how I got this makeup look and how I keep my makeup in place in this hot Atlanta weather, please keep watching. So everything has to be done in steps. The first thing I'm going to do is prime my face, and I'm using the MAC Face Protect Protection Visage SPF 50. That really works for oil control for my skin. But obviously there are many other ones that you can use if you do have oily skin. Oily skin plus a humid, hot climate can really be quite a disaster. So definitely use a good primer. It's like painting a wall. Like you always need, you know, layers. Okay, I'm going to let that dry for a few seconds and just like really seep into my skin. So I'm going to be using the Cover FX Custom Cover Drops in N70. This is awesome for oil control. I've really found this is a really great product for the summer, especially for all of you oily skin girls. This one will really keep all your oil at bay. And this stuff stays on. It looks the exact same from when I apply it to the end of the night. So this one really has great staying power. It's just pure pigment. I have a review on that I will link down below. So I'm going to be mixing this with my Farsali Rose Gold Elixir right here. This is an essential oil with 24 karat gold, and basically it's completely natural, and I love that. This is pure pigment, so it has to be mixed into something, you know, to go onto your skin. So I'm going to be mixing it with this, so it gives me a little bit of a dewy, radiant look, because it's very hard to come by in the summer for people with oily skin. And with a primer underneath it, it shouldn't be a problem in sort of causing oil for me. So I think that these two are going to work great together. So you need to shake this up. You shake this up as well. And what I'm going to do is take out some of this. And you guys can see what it looks like. You can like see the gold in there. So I'm actually going to take out a few drops and I'm going to mix them together. So you guys can see right here what that looks like. Okay, so this looks like it's a lot darker than my skin. But don't worry, it won't look that way after it's really blended in. So I'm just rubbing that into my skin the way you would a tinted moisturizer or even a regular moisturizer. The Farsali Rose Gold Elixir smells so good too. So you guys can see right here on my forehead. It's a tiny bit lighter than my forehead. I just tend to be a little bit darker there. But what I really like is that you can always make products work for you by adding other things, right? So you can add powders, etc. to make things really work out. And so now I'm going to go in with concealer. In the summer, I would definitely use concealers that you know are going to stay on. So this is not the time for me to use, you know, radiant concealers and things that I think are just going to cause more oil and that might break down because of sweat and grease and, you know, oil and stuff like that. So I'm going to go in with an oldie but a goodie, the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. You guys know that this is an awesome product. This and the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer are the absolute best as far as no creasing is concerned. They really don't crease. So I'm going to take just a tiny bit right here. I'm going to pop this under my eye. And this does not make me look very radiant because it's not that much lighter, like the Urban Decay one that I've, you know, been using so much lately. But it's not a problem because we will add some light going through here with powder. So again, like this is very full coverage, but I know that it really does not budge with any water. Now, the next thing is actually a really important step, which is powder. If you want to go with more concealer on top of this, you definitely can. I don't like to have that super perfect face for the summer days, so I'm not going to go ahead and do that. But what I am going to use is my Prep and Prime by MAC, which is the loose powder. It's transparent. And there are two different ways you can do this. If you are super oily or if you really feel like your makeup might really budge around a lot because you're doing a lot of cream products and things like that on top, I would suggest using a powder puff to press the powder in. Pressing that in is really going to keep it in place because you're not just like rubbing and displacing it, but you're actually pressing it in. So that's one method. The other method, if you're like me and you don't want to look really powdery, what I like to do is use this with a big brush like this I actually don't pick up a ton of product at all. I'm just using that much, wiping off the excess, and what I'm going to do is, since the most amount of product is on the brush right now, I'm going to put this directly on my nose and to the sides of my cheek, because that's definitely where I get the oiliest. And if you guys notice, I'm not doing this motion, I'm doing this. I'm practically holding this perpendicular to my face and really pressing this in. You guys will see that pores are filled this way as well, which is great for every one of you who has larger pores like me. And you are also really going to make the makeup stay in place. So it's not just about the products you use, it's also how you use them that makes a big difference to makeup staying on your face, especially during these hot and humid months. I'm going to go ahead and finish up the rest of my face, and I will be back to show you guys a few additional steps to make it last after you're done with blush and stuff, because obviously those, you know, are not really big things in terms of keeping your makeup in place. Just remember that if you want to keep your makeup in place longer, stick with powder products, not cream products. So while blush, you know, cream blushes and stuff look really great for the summer, use that when you're not going to be out and about for a very long time. If you're going to be out and about all day, I would definitely stick to powder products and bring in a glow by using more luminous powders and powders with sheen and glitter and things like that, as opposed to a cream product. So let me finish up my face and I'll be right back. Okay, now for the eyebrows, I'm going to be using Anastasia's Dipper Up Pomade because this is waterproof, another great product to use for the summer. This honestly really does work amazingly well, whether you're working out or whatever it might be. It really does stay on. So I'm using it in dark brown. You guys can see right here I'm using an angled brush like this. I'm just going to pick up a tiny amount. You guys have already probably watched my eyebrow video. If not, I will link that down below, but I'm just going to fill them in like I normally do. All the normal rules apply, where the arch is a little bit darker and bolder, and the inner corner right here is not quite as bold and a bit lighter, because that is usually how eyebrows really are. You're just going to see the difference between the two. Alright, so onto the lips. A few things to keep in mind. A Longwear lipstick definitely would probably be your best choice in the summer, winter, any month, just because it really does stay on. But what I'd like to do is make a little bit of a brighter color, so I'm going to be using Whirl Lip Liner by MAC to line my lips. And then I'm going to go in with Amorous, also by MAC, which is a purplish pink, which I really, really like for the summer. Okay, so then now for mascara. Yes, this is definitely a step as well. What you guys should definitely do here is I'm going to curl my lashes and use my normal mascara, the Too Faced Better Than Sex, but on top of that, I'm going to coat it with a waterproofing top coat that I have from Anastasia Beverly Hills, which will also make sure it stays on whether you're at the beach, whether it's really hot and you think that you might be sweating, to where it could make your mascara sweat off, because that's definitely something that I notice in really hot climate. You will see women with mascara down here because it's just sort of moved, which is not what we want. So you're going to go ahead and put on your mascara like normal. I'm not layering it on like I normally do. I really like the glow that I can see going on, but it's still like I know that this foundation is so good that it really does stay on. That's why I mix it with the essential oil, because I really like having a glow during the summer, but it's not always the easiest to achieve with my skin type. Or at least it's not easy to achieve without 1,000 layers of product. Okay, here is the Anastasia. It basically is a clear coat that I'm going to put right on top. I'm first going to curl my lashes up like that, and then I'm going to wiggle it under. Make sure you definitely use this in the bottom lash line, because those are the ones that will cause you to sweat off your mascara. So get that in there really well. And this stuff really does work, you guys. You'll notice when you are washing your face and stuff that all your other makeup will come off, but this stuff won't. So you do have to use good waterproof makeup remover for this. So last step for your summer makeup to really stay on is going to be a makeup finishing spray. So this is by Skindinavia. This is called No More Shine makeup finish for oily skin, and I would really recommend people with oily skin to use something like this. The MAC Fix Plus is not a finishing spray, you guys. A lot of people think that, but I actually use it on my clients to give them a glow. So it's only really used for clients who have dry skin. It's also a good sort of prep and prime your skin for product, because it has caffeine in there to plump up your skin. So it's not something that's supposed to keep your makeup in place. It's actually more of something to give you a little bit of a glow and a shine. That doesn't mean that it's going to stay on though. So I like to use products like this. There are many different ones that Scandinavia has, so if you guys were interested, they do make a few that are, you know, better for drier skin. But in general, my point is that use something to set your makeup and keep it on, because products like this really do work. You guys should test it out by wearing a normal face of makeup, going out somewhere, seeing how long that lasts versus when you have this on. I think this gives me an extra 3 hours. So I'm going to shake this up and spritz this on. It's a really nice mister, so it's not going to get a ton of product on you. It's a very, very light mist, but it really does work. So let me go ahead and show you guys the finished look. So here you guys go. This is your finished stay-in-place makeup for summer or a hot, humid climate. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.